Today, I'm with my client Rhun in Swansea taking a look at another one of his rent-to-rent units. He's now got two. He's a landlord first, but he's converted to the dark side. He's now doing rent-to-rent. So I wanted to get a little bit of feedback from him, find out what it is he's doing and what his future goals and plans are. So we're in your rent-to-rent. It's on Airbnb. How much profit are you making every single month on this?
The first couple of months now, we've been making £1,100 profit.
£1,100, that's not bad, is it? You happy with that?
Oh yeah, definite.
And, you know, I know that you used to be a landlord first. Now you're doing rent to rent. And I can relate to that because I was a landlord before I did rent to rent. So tell us a bit about that and how you transitioned.
Well, with the buy-to-lets, landlords, you're obviously only making, I don't know, £300-400 a month max after paying the mortgage and management fee. Obviously, the rent to rent is more of a risk, because you've got to try and get the bookings. You know, you can potentially earn £100-130 a night, maybe more, depends on location and property size.
Yeah.
And overall, after paying the mortgage or rent, it all depends, you know, you could potentially make £1,500 a month.
Yeah.
It's a lot more risk, but it's a lot less investment, but it's more profitable.
It's more profitable. So more risk, more reward.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to me like you prefer rent to rent over buy to let, but I wanted to get your opinion. Which do you think is better?
Like I said, if you just want a steady income, yeah, buy-to-lets, and obviously both are long-term games. Obviously with the rent-to-rents, it's not such a big deposit to purchase a house, and you can get it within a week or two. But buying a house, buy-to-let, you got to wait, I don't know, 3 months, and it might cost you like 30 grand.
That's a really good point, actually. How long did it take you to get this rent to rent?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, is that all?
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a property recently and it's taken me months, even when they said it's going to take 2 months. Like sometimes it takes up to 4 months. The one that I bought in Calais, that took almost a year to be able to actually go in and start making money 2 weeks in. That's pretty cool, right?
Oh, definitely. But like, obviously, because I'm renting this property, the contract is 12 months. Obviously, we would like to extend, but we'll see how it goes with the landlord.
How much income were you making minus all your expenses on your buy-to-let property?
It all depends what you want, really. You know, if you just want an easy life, it's a buy-to-let.
Right.
If you want to get there and replace your 9 to 5, it's definitely rent-to-rents.
Cool.
There's not enough return in a buy-to-let unless you actually own the property outright.
So let's look at the returns really quick then. So your buy-to-let, how much money are you making after expenses?
So after paying the management fee and the mortgage, I'm left with about £320 a month.
Okay, and would you say that's average?
Oh, yeah.
With the interest rates as well, have they gone up fair?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, they have, right? And how much money are you making on the rent to rent?
Right, so after paying the rent bills, yeah, about £1,100 a month.
£1,100. So that is a big difference, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
How much did you put into your buy-to-let property?
The deposit and land transaction tax and solicitors costs, I think, is around 28,000, 27,000.
So you're saying 28,000, and how much was the deposit and everything you had to put into the rent to rent?
Probably spent about 6.5.
So one was 6.5 grand, and it's getting you a return of investment of £1,100 a month, and the other was a 28 grand investment, and it's getting you a return of £328 a month.
Yeah.
You still do like buy-to-let, and you still think that buy-to-let could potentially be better?
There's pros and cons, isn't it? Buy-to-lets, to me, if you get a right management team in, they obviously, well, the one I use, to be fair to her, she's on the ball because she knows she's the one who's going to have to deal with the tenants. So she obviously, it took her a month to find a tenant, but then it took her a month to find the right tenant.
Right.
She said she could have thrown any in there.
She vetted them, she made sure they were good and everything, and now...
Because she's the one who's going to have to deal with them. If it takes a month to make a job easier, then so be it.
You seem to want it to be very hands-off, right? Like you got management for the rent-to-rents now. You've got management for the buy-to-lets. You know, what is your end goal then? Because are you just going to keep buying properties and having other people manage it and sacrifice a bit of money? Or are you going to go into management yourself? How are you going to approach it moving forward?
Like I said, with everything going on, with the flipping houses as well, this time is more than anything.
Buying your time back so that you can invest it into flipping houses, which is your bread and butter really, isn't it?
Correct.
And what about buy, refurbish, refinance?
Like I said, we've done it once. Obviously, we had issues with that tenant. We decided to keep that business separate, just flip houses. And I've obviously gone and bought myself and so hopefully buy another place in the new year now.
You've got 2 rent-to-rents now. You're quite clued up. But how were you in the beginning when you first met me? What were some of your biggest setbacks or what your struggles to stop you them moving forward?
It was as service accommodation instead of a buy-to-let. But at the time, I wasn't really clued up about it. To me, you know, if I went on holiday, it was the Airbnb. I'd want to stay somewhere nice location. Not saying there's nothing wrong where my buy-to-let is, but it's just not in the right area for someone to go on holidays. But obviously learning different strategies, you know, work contractors, not just people going on holidays stay. You realise then there's more to it.
Yeah. It's mad you don't think about that.
No, not at all.
A construction worker yourself, or I've been at one point, right? And I'm sure they had you stay at properties and you didn't really clock on that somebody could be doing rent to rent on there.
No.
Targeting.
Or like insurance, or people moving out, sold their houses and need some temporary accommodation because obviously you can't get the minimum term to get a buy-to-let now is 6 months, isn't it?
Yeah. How are you feeling moving forward? Like, what's the next step for you?
Another property bought, because, you know, it's been nearly a year now since I bought somewhere. It all depends what's on the market at the time. If there's a flip to do, or if it's, you know, if it's just a perfect buy-to-let, or if there's a good chance to do service accommodation to it. Just all depends what's on the market.
It sounds like you're going to be more fluid with your strategies now. Like, you can look at a property and you could think this strategy will work for this property. You might not necessarily have had that strategy in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
You just don't buy to let.
Thing is, you can go there anywhere and just say, right, that'll work as a buy-to-let.
Are you looking at properties differently and thinking, oh, this one would work for rent to rent because it's in a really good area and it'd be popping on Airbnb because it's touristy? Or that one is a really good property, but shame it's not in the right area, so that will work perfect for buy to let.
It's all down to location and if it's got a buy-to-let anywhere, because there's always going to be houses that people need to rent in there. Obviously, my buy-to-let doesn't got off-road parking, but if you're going to go service accommodation, you know, if it's close to like tourist stuff, or, you know, it's in the right area, or like, I don't know, close to hospitals, or, you know, staff might need somewhere to stay short-term, whatever. Like I said, there's a few different strategies, but obviously, if it's parking there, it's a big bonus then for service accommodation.
Right. You've got two different strategies. Some people would say that rent to rent is bad because what we're doing is we're actually taking properties where people could rent them and live in them, and we're putting it on your Airbnbs, or we're renting it out for contractors and things. Do you share that same sentiment?
No, I wouldn't say so at all. It's, you know, you look at how many properties are empty with the council, you know. There's enough properties out there. Obviously, the houses are getting expensive to purchase, like.
Right.
Service accommodation cheaper than hotels, eh?
Yeah. They're building new houses all the time, man.
Yeah.
And I know some people are against the Airbnb model because they think that, you know, people are going to come and have parties and things. But like you said, you know, we mainly target contractors. Cameron, who's got his Airbnb up in Morriston, he's providing accommodation for nurses and doctors. They wouldn't have that accommodation otherwise. So in my opinion, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's helping the community.
Oh, definite.
What would be your advice to someone thinking about getting started with rent to rent?
We should go start a lot sooner.
And I think people will look up to you as well because you're a landlord. Some people, I think they want to buy a property, but they've got no cash flow. Whereas they'd be much better focusing on the cash flow first, save that up, then invest in a property, and you still got more cash flow coming in from your rent to rents, instead of going straight to buy to let and putting all their savings into a buy to let.
You know, you might have 30 grand sitting in the bank. If you have, it's worth buying the property. Obviously, if you buy a property that needs work doing, just remortgage, tax-free, you can go again then. You're better off owning the property than renting it.
You would buy the property first and then do rent to rent, rather than do rent to rent and use the money from the rent to rent.
I would, yeah.
And what would you say to people who don't have that much capital there?
It's always rent to rent, or something I don't do is deal sourcing to raise finance.
Deal sourcing, rent to rent, use that money then to save up for the buy to let.
Or save up to buy your own house and either use it as, I don't know, well, even if you bought it for a HMO, or owning the property is
king.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you do your own thing with your carpentry, and it's quite funny because every time I do a video with you, I get way more views than I normally do, which is kind of funny. So make sure you guys check Rhun out on Instagram, and make sure you follow me because we're going to be showcasing a lot more Rhun's properties and some of my other clients. And if you'd like to get started with me, working together with a one-to-one mentorship, then drop me a DM and we can go from there and see how we can get you results just like Rhun.
Fly, yeah. story, got the blueprint. Money where the roof went. Deals on the table, every move is prudent. Flipping properties, no circus, no clowns. Turn a vacant lot to a king's compound. He don't do the stress, let the contracts flex. Rent the rent move, stacking checks on checks.